Hello, hello, hello. Let's check on the audio. Hold on just a moment. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Forever. Put it right here. And put it over here. Wait, where's it over here? Here. Let's see. Okay, so pull this up real quick. I saw a lizard in my Airbnb. So I'm like, I see like a shot. I'm like, it's not a lizard. Like a super, super cute one. Hmm. All right, let's run this one. This is how last minute I am. I hit record before I've chosen which reading I'm going to do. I'm actually going to look at one more. Ooh, I like this one. Ooh, I really like this one. Let me just see one thing. Hmm, okay. It's such a hard choice. All right, let's run this one. Fuck it. 88. All right, all right, all right. Oh, Australian. My favorite. My favorite ladies in the world. I don't mean that in a romantic, I'm hitting on every Australian girl way. I mean that, and y'all are always so fucking cool. Like blown away. Like, let me kind of warm up into this reading. I've had a pretty crazy, not a crazy day. I went to a cat cafe and um chilled. But it's Scorpio moon. So when I do readings on Scorpio moon, they can be really, really good. I mean, every reading has to be good or I don't put it out. But I need to, you know, like it always takes me like it took me 3 or 4 hours today before I like actually find like it's 2 a.m. right now. It probably started at 10, where I like was in that like, all right, it's time to work mode. And I was just watching like stupid streams and just like, helping people in my personal life, which is like a second job, it seems. And yeah, um, it's a very like Scorpio moon, it's like a very mm, it's like it's almost like I have to like get past this ground level first. And then once I do, it's just magic. So with that said, where's my timer so I know how long time? Yeah. Let's start that up. Um, find a comfortable position. All right. Yeah. So, a lot of fire. A lot of fire. Oh, I love that Jupiter. Jupiter on the IC. Oh my God. North node on the ascendant, Pisces, south node on the descendant. Do I want to start there? And you have the Antares midheaven. Damn. How close is it? That's mainly why I chose to do this reading, because I saw your midheaven is conjunct, exactly conjunct the royal starring Antares, which is like the king, queen of the underworld. It's like such a badass placement. I think like Pablo Escobar had his wow, yours is like within 0.09. That could bring fame. Like that's like one of the only things in astrology that can actually bring fame. Um, yeah, Antares can be very controversial, but they're very militant people. Um, they can be a bit brute or come off that way, but they definitely command respect and they're very, very deep. It's like the heart of the scorpion, even though it's in in Sag, it's in the constellation of Scorpio, and it's the heart of it. So they just really get to the heart of things, and there's no bullshit with them. So that's definitely like potential for leadership. But anyways, so karmically, you've been someone who has depended too much on relationships in past lives. Um, they've given you too much of your definition has come from relationships, right? And it's really important in this life for you to develop your person, like your independence, your personality. um it's really important for you to develop this spiritual relationship with yourself. Pisces, North Node, first house. It's really, really, you it's not that you can't be in relationships. That's not all it is. In fact, there will be a lot of karmic relationships that come. Um, but it's your job to recognize like when those ones are pushing you, back, and when those ones are pushing you forward. So, um, when you're able to when you're able to be independent and not codependent, when you're able to really kind of steer the ship of your own life, then that high Pisces energy comes in, right? And if we think about Virgo Pisces, sometimes there's issues around control, and the person really, really has to. They might start life off. I'm like, oh, what's happening? They might start life off, kind of fearing change, kind of wanting things to stay the way they are, having lots of different worries and whatnot. Um, and it can really come off as this lack of faith, um, in relation to God, right? In the universe. And just having that knowledge and that wisdom that at the end of the day everything is just going to work itself out, right? That's extremely important. um so yeah, Pisces North Node is really about allowing yourself in this lifetime to dream, to dream, and to not allow your brain, your cognition, your potentially self-limiting beliefs get in the way of your imagination and what could be possible, because really everything is possible. The second that you say something isn't, then it isn't. um I need like a sodas. Never really drink these, but somehow in South America, I swear, I don't know what it is, but Coca-Cola, it tastes better. I don't get it. I never drink these. Um, how many sugars though? I probably don't want to know, huh? Oof. Oh, what? No, no, it's not that bad. Okay, that's good. That is good. Yeah. Anyways, so there's a lot in your chart. Um, that's really really good. Having Jupiter on the IC is amazing because it basically, people who have that tend to have had, like, I would be very surprised. I spilled. I'd be very surprised if you had like a difficult childhood. Um, I mean, it's possible. We'll see what else the charts saying, but I already see two indications right off the bat of an overall pleasant childhood. That is Sun trine Moon, and so Sun trine Moon. It means that your masculine and your feminine are in line with each other. So usually it means that both parents are together. If not together, they have a similar message that they're giving to you. And then Jupiter on the IC, those types of people, they just have this very optimistic energy. So like when life gets very tough, they're able to really just see the big, larger perspective. Um, and when we look at your chart, we see Sun, Mercury square Pluto. So that could relate to a power struggle, with your father, or just with authority figures in your life in general, however they present themselves. Um, Now, I would say that with the moon square Neptune in Aries moon, people with that, they definitely need to spend a lot of time alone. If they don't, they start to really take in a lot of the energy that's not theirs, emotional energy. And also with their mother, I've said this to like so many people, and they've all like a lot of them have just been like, whoa, holy shit. Um, but they tend to have this energy with their mother that they, especially if the mother was, had any negative emotions, anger, sadness, shame, you name it, right? They will take a lot of that on for themselves, right? And they'll think it's theirs, but really it's their mother's. So some people with that, they feel like they have, and they can also have confusing energy with the mother. Um, there can be some, like, for example, I heard, a client today who had this where she caught her mother cheating on her father, which I know I said that everything was most likely good between the parents, but you never know. Um, Overall, though, it's just a really, I need to open this window. I'm like literally burning up in here. I'm sorry I'm moving so much, but I will stop. I just got kind of freaked out when I saw that lizard, the baby lizard. Like, how did he climb up to the 14th fucking floor? But yeah, so yeah, I guess what I would say is that Moon Neptune people have to come to terms with their own emotions, and they have to really spend time alone to be able to curtail what's theirs, what's not theirs, what they're taking from other people around them, especially in relationships. They can have this, and this is shown in other parts of your chart too. Well, actually, wait. No, Venus is no, Neptune is not doing that. Well, yeah, it is with Mars squaring it. So you do have to be really careful with who you trust. Um, why did it switch my microphone? Okay, it switched back. Yeah, so you have to be really careful with who you trust. And sometimes with the Neptune energy like that, it can make people it can make people almost like not like it's like they can sometimes see them have a lot of trouble seeing themselves clearly, right? Um, so it's almost like there's this extra effort needed in the sense of going within the self, understanding, what are my values, what are the other person's values, um, what's society's values, right? And I think that a big part of the reason for you being a Leo with Aries moon is that you've been very, very controlled in past lives. um what I mean by that is that you haven't let yourself go enough, and as I said before, you're too controlled by relationships, right? So you have the sun and the moon in fire and these very explorative, fun signs in this lifetime because you know you need to have a lot of experiences, right? It's like a Virgo seventh house south node is the type of person, if we put it in today's standards, who might just be always in relationships and always defining themselves via the relationships. And also, since Virgo is a sign that's way more with the status quo, um, it can be, you know, it can kind of lack that spirituality the Pisces North Node is asking for. So the life lessons are really around embracing spirituality and listening to the intuition, right? Because Virgo South Node, it means that there's a tendency to listen too much to the mind, to go in these like over analytical, you know what I mean, cycles. So, and sometimes I, sometimes there can be like this need to develop compassion also. So North Node and Pisces people, a lot of times they work in service-based jobs, careers, and whatever they do, it's not really about the job necessarily as much as it is about the idea of your metaphysical footprint and your unconditional acceptance, right? And unconditional love you have for people. and the healing that you offer and that you give. That's what's important. So yeah, it's kind of like leaving this like very like mundane, tangible reality and moving towards what the soul needs, from the ego wants to the soul needs. So you're on a big time spiritual quest in this lifetime. And then the fact that it goes in the first house, that's just addressing the issues around, can I be happy alone? Not do I need to be alone, but can I just not need this relationship? Can I be fine if I don't have that, right? Um, because like I was saying, with some of your placements, there could be a potential for attracting, if you're not careful, partners who are deceptive, partners who seem, where it seems too good to be true at the start, especially. And there could be some letdowns in that area, but overall, there's a lot of really, really good potential and a lot of fate in your relationships. So it's almost like you don't have to worry about it. Like if you're single, um, you know, whatever, it's gonna happen. As long as you're on your North Node route, it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen, right? And if you're not, then you already understand it. So, um, yeah, I think Virgo, like a lot also is about, usually there's like very high expectations for that child, the Virgo South Node child. And a lot of times, not always, they were kind of blocked from dreaming, blocked from really, whether it was one parent or whatever it was, like blocked from being able to really fully go into their imagination. And it might not necessarily be parent, it could be past life self-criticism, right? Which maybe gets triggered in this lifetime, or just doesn't get encouraged enough and just comes naturally. So yeah, it's like a natural perfectionist, critical attitude. And if the parents um, push that further, then it makes it even more difficult. Um, so the first big test is self-compassion and still feeling worthy of love and acceptance, even, you know, if you don't hit the mark in, say, school or career or relationships or whatever society wants of you. A lot of South Node Virgos are workaholics, right? And obviously, having hard work is good. It's good to work, but it's really important that the direction of your work is one that has some Piscean element to it, right? So, yeah. What else? Yeah, it's almost like I've seen that with people who like it's almost like they are like avoiding their spiritual journey or their emotions, just in order, like through work, basically. Like just work to kind of avoid feeling certain things. And just like this obsession with being productive and efficient at all times. So yeah. Um, but yeah, so in Pisces, it's really just like about, because like the South Node and Virgo, they will start to feel at some age, this feeling of like just, when you're stuck in your South Node, it can just feel very mundane and very like, okay, I'm not growing. And you know, it's really, really important to, to tune into something that really, really makes you feel at one with the world, right? That gives you that sense of oneness. Um, that is really, really, really important. So sometimes like with the Virgo South node, it's almost like they have to take a step back. And in human design, it's talked about a lot, the idea of basically for some people's charts, it's like the idea of allowing what do they call it? Invitations is the word they use. But allowing things to come to you and set like our society tells us to push, 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 push. And with your fire energy, right? Especially the Aries moon, that's some hustle, especially in the second house, right? Like that's some hustler energy. But and I'm not saying like and like that will be your instinct, so you will do that naturally. But in certain areas, it's just really, really karmically, especially during the really testy times of life, to trust the process. I'm gonna go into a little meditation right now. Sometimes I need to do that. I'm gonna turn my camera off for a little bit.